What's up, guys? It's your boy Rich here. So what happens when we get a really good homage? We get Davosa Ternos dubbed Batman. I think Christian Bale just might approve. Let's see. And here it is in 42 millimeters, 50 from lug to lug, 15.5 millimeters tall, and with a 22 millimeter lug width. And I think right off the bat, we're going to have to address the elephant in the room, which is the homage element to the Rolex GMT Master 2. And really, I think there are only two camps to homages. We're either anti-homage or we're fine with them. And I think as watch enthusiasts, we look for subtle differences to help us distinguish the, I quote, real deal from another watch that looks like it. And I think even as true watch enthusiasts, I think we still determine whether or not a watch reminds us of another watch based on a snapshot, even if we don't pick up or notice the subtle differences, because it's the snapshot or our initial impressions that really forms that opinion for us. And with Davosa Ternos, I think there are quite a number of subtle differences from the GMT Master 2, such as Davosa does not use the Davosa branding throughout the chapter ring that Rolex does. However, it does use a Cyclops lens, and that's pretty much a staple for Rolex. And it does use the Mercedes hour hand. But I think, the dial is very different from Rolex, other than we can see that it has 4 lines of text versus 3. But other than that, I think it just has a pretty much different look with Davosa's logo there. It's not trying to look like Rolex. And I think this is much more than a cosmetic watch, meaning it's only based on looks. So, spoiler alert, this is a really well-made watch inside and out. But I wanted to address the homage element before we start picking up on the Davosa's unique characteristics. And one of the other things that I wanted to point out is that even though this will be viewed as an homage, and I will not disagree with that, Davosa is a brand that is not known as a homage company such as some other watch brands, because even though they have the Ternos in their lineup, they also have a lot of wide open watches that are uniquely Davosa. And I think because of those different watches, it is not known to be an homage company the way that, for example, Gmt may be, because really Gmt only has the Ocean Rover. But in Davosa's case, they have a lot of different models. And I think it's also fair to say that most watch companies might have one watch that reminds us of a watch made from another company, and that's fine. I think any watch company or watch brand is allowed to have something that reminds us of another watch, because that's going to be almost inevitable. I think Davosa did a really nice job with its liquid-like ceramic bezel inlay. It's almost sexy because of the liquid-like finishing here. A really well done job by Davosa for this. And I did want to continue to talk about why this is not trying to be the other watch that we talked about, not exactly at least. So, for example, when this is not a 1-to-1. This is a 42 millimeter versus 40, and it does not use the glide lock system on the bracelet. So, what I'm talking about is if we take, for example, my Gmt Ocean Rover, this is a 1-to-1, meaning the specs or the specifications are exactly the same as the Rolex Submariner. And it does try its best to make a really good glide lock bracelet here. It is actually, Gmt did a really nice job with that. So in Davosa's case, it is not trying to be that. So I also think they did a really nice job with the polished and brushed finishing here. Just a really nice job. And if we start talking about the bracelet, one thing I will say that we've seen this type of bracelet on a lot of the higher end micro brands or independent brands. It is not that unique, but it is only used on the higher end watches, and it is a good one. I do quite like it. So when we open it, it does have the diverse extension right there. And even though I just mentioned that it's not the it's a bracelet that is commonly used by the better brands, it does have 4 micro adjustments versus the more common 3 with the same type of bracelet. So Davosa took it up another step, and I find myself getting a perfect fit with the 4 micro adjustments versus 3, because as subtle as it is, that 1 extra slot makes a huge difference. So if we open the bracelet back up, we can see the solid case back with their branding and the logo. And the movement that is powering the Ternos, what they describe as the DAV or DAV 302, is really a modified Swiss Solida 260 automatic movement. And I think they chose a 260 because of the GMT function. So let's get into the GMT function and see how that works. So unscrew the crown, pull it out, and then when we change in one direction, we're going to start seeing the day change. So there it goes from 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And if we rotate the crown in the opposite direction, we'll be able to operate the GMT hour hand. So here we go. There we go. We can see it changing. There it is at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3. And just as importantly, we're going to notice that as I change the second time zone, it is not interrupting the main time zone, because you can see the seconds still operating there even as I'm changing for the second time zone. So that does make it pretty convenient. Again, Davosa did a really nice job with the fundamentals and then going the extra distance with their Ternos. One of my favorite things about the Ternos is the quality finishing of the ceramic bezel inlay. As I mentioned, I think Davosa did a really nice job at creating that nice liquid-like finishing. So let's check out the turn action of the bezel. Here we go. Nice and tight and crisp, very little back play, certainly acceptable, and nothing to worry about. So did Davosa create the perfect homage? Well, I am a little reluctant to refer to the Ternos as homage, but at a snapshot, that's what it is. And the reason I am also reluctant to refer to it as an homage is because the Ternos lineup is not an homage. They do offer different color variations. However, this Batman version is at a snapshot an homage. But can an homage go beyond the look of a watch? I think they can. I think Davosa did with their Ternos. And it is very difficult to criticize the craftsmanship and quality and build of the Ternos. I think Davosa did a really, really great job. And the retail price of the Ternos is approximately $1,300. And for that, we are getting a nicely constructed watch, a Swiss-made watch by a company that produces a wide variety of Swiss-made timepieces. It is a company that is transparent about their timepieces. So if we like the look of the Batman and we are looking for a watch that is beyond cosmetic, then I think the Ternos can be a nice option for us. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. I think Michael Keaton, I think Val Kilmer, I think Ben Affleck might just approve. Let's go take a look at Batman's Davosa. Let's go take a look at Davosa's